Yup.
There it is. Boom, shock, alak, alakaboom. I mean, you can tell, obviously, because I am outside and the weather is it's good weather, better than last week. Even though I do like rainy weather,
for sure.
But we are here. It is Saturday. I am 1 week into my second shot of the vaccine. We're going to get this going. Today is a show about it's like a show to show off t-shirts. So let me show off mine real quick. Warpath, obviously, because we have the guests that we have on. Obviously, you have to bring the most newest of the new and the most best t-shirts out there. But hello, good day wherever you're at, whatever time it is. Welcome to the Fandom Initiative. As always, you're welcome. Let's get these introductions out of the way, sir. The man across from me, this gentleman with the blinds and the omnipotent beard, is one half of the tag team champions of the world, along with Lady Mina, who also has a podcast called, Mina and Mawa Politicking for the Culture. They also have a podcast together where it is called the AMC A-Listers. This gentleman across me, he is the cinema CEO. He is the cinema god. This is Michael Williams.
Good afternoon, governors.
If anybody in the UK gets mad, I don't know what to tell you, because that's not any better than my English accent. So what have you? And myself, I am Antonio Pomares. I am the hungriest man in the room. You can take that however you want. I would rather be a voice of the voiceless and a friend to the fringe than a flavor of the week. You can spell week however you like. I am the Hungry Bleak, and this is Fandom Initiative. Normally, you would hear like a swell of an orchestra, but I missed a payment, so they're not going to come by anymore. I'm going to be real with you. That's it.
Got to clean up that credit, brother. Got to clean up that credit.
It was the payment or the shirt. I was like, I got to go with that shirt. Orchestras come and go, but Warpath is
Repo.
For real. Yeah, it was funny to see a whole like flatbed truck just pick up a whole orchestra of people. They were sitting in the back playing like how the Titanic went down, and they were still playing. I don't get that. It's real.
Oh my god.
All right, so as you can tell from the title of today's show, The Gala, we have special guest returning. We had a lot of fun last time, so we're gonna have some even more fun this time. And this is actually a perfect week because the HELLFIRE Gala starts. And we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. We got some stuff to get through before this, but everyone, once again, welcome. This gentleman doesn't even need an introduction. This is Malachi Bailey.
Hello, people. Thanks for having me.
Yes. How are you doing today, Malachi?
I'm doing exceptionally well. As they would say, what is blessed and highly favored.
Yes. And we are extremely blessed and extremely favored today. We've got great weather. So obviously, a very incredibly powerful mutant must have just been knowing today was going to be the day.
It was written in the stars,
I mean, do you want to show the shirt before we even start? Do you want to show off the shirt?
You twisted my arm, but sure.
We need to see the shirt.
How beautiful this shirt.
Nice.
I know it's blinding you.
You know that moment in a Boomerang where Eddie Murphy sees Pops' mushroom jacket line on the inside, and he goes, "Oh!" That's the reaction. That's the only reaction you can have to that shirt, because I didn't know there were going to be HELLFIRE shirts, and I was like, all right. But if anybody was going to do it, look, if anybody was going to have the shirt, you have to know that it was going to be Malachi.
Like seriously.
But we're going to be talking about the gala later. Okay, yeah. We'll talk about it later, and I don't care if you spoil anything for me, because I'm still going to read it regardless.
Are you sure? Because I have a lot to say.
I'm sure there's a lot involved. I mean, this is a huge event. This is, and I mean, event in two ways, honestly, because there has been an event like this before for MC, for Marvel, as far as like a big party, which is an event inside an event, kind of. I don't know how to want to really, but I'm digging it. So, are y'all ready to jump into everything?
Let's do it.
Sir.
All right, let's get into movies. Okay, so this happened. I want to say this was announced probably yesterday or sometime when I was out of it, sleeping, done, because this was like the week from Tartarus, apparently. We got Issa Rae is going to voice Spider-Woman in the animated sequel to Into the Spider-Verse. I'm excited about this. I think this is great. I think this might be her first voice acting thing for anything animated.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
This is she has had the year of years
Mm-hmm.
in 2021. All the announcements and all the look. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. Michael was, I think, the first person to watch that I knew of anyway. The first person to watch a majority of Into the Spider-Verse, the first movie, because you watched it in the Hulu theater during New York Comic Con, right?
Yep.
Right. So the cinema CEO, the cinema god, and the rest of the pantheon were there watching while I was on this floor of New York Comic Con trying not to get stampled and tramped upon. And Michael came, he was like, look, this movie, they showed you what, like 30 minutes of it?
Yeah, it was about the first half hour of it, and it wasn't like, I mean, it was mostly finished. There were like some effects that weren't finished, but yeah, it was the first half hour of it. Yeah.
Wow.
And there's as you guys know, and you guys have seen it, a lot happens in that first half hour of that movie.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So this is kind of cool. Everyone's already kind of excited for it to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this just is another level, especially because is this going to be who's the one that is the most prevalent Spider-Woman? Jessica Drew?
Yes.
Yeah, that's who she's.
So I want to say this was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think there are two like Spider Women.
Julia Carpenter.
Thank you.
And Maddie something at one point.
Yeah, because I think Julia Carpenter was the one that was in Force Works.
Yeah.
Who had the black and white suit, right? Okay.
Who debuted in Secret Wars back in 1985.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is, yeah, I'm just all in for this movie. Just now. Just now. For real, just now. So Michael was talking last week about how he was going to watch A Quiet Place 2 and Cruella. I've heard nothing but great things about Cruella, and I'm happy for that. I'm so glad. But Michael's going to give us his reviews of these two movies. Have you seen either movie?
So I saw A Quiet Place Part 2 last Sunday. It was my first time back into movie theaters, so I was kind of like sketchy about it. It was a great experience. I was on the fence about Cruella because she's one of my favorites, and I guess I have a bit of burnout, regarding Emma Stone. But I'm also hearing wonderful things, so I'm actually going tomorrow afternoon to see it.
Okay. So I will start with Quiet Place 2. We were talking last week where we were like, I don't know. I think we were a bit worried that Quiet Place 2 wasn't a necessity in some ways after that first movie. I will say that A Quiet Place 2 is not. It's not as good as that first movie, but it's pretty close because it in a weird way, and it's not weird. I actually kind of like that they did it that way. It serves as a prequel and a sequel.
Yes.
At the same time. Like, there's the first part of the movie is pretty much a compressed prequel of A Quiet Place. So you know exactly how you got where you were in the beginning of Quiet Place. And then the movie continues from the end of Quiet Place after that compressed prequel at the beginning. So, I thought it was really good. Like, I thought it was really good. Not as good as that first one as far as experience. Like, you can't duplicate the exact same experience that you got in that first one. But I think what they tried really hard to do this time is and I know a lot of the first movie is based a lot on, what do I want to say? Based on a lot of like lack of sound, if that makes any sense. For me, it kind of felt like the sound when it happens in this movie is augmented in the sequel. So that kind of makes it even more a different experience and a different kind of scary, if that makes any sense.
But I'm glad you brought that up because the and the oldest daughter of Reagan, you know, because really it's her story.
Yes.
So it makes sense to have certain sounds amplified depending on what she's hearing with the hearing aids. So I'm glad you made that, you know, that observation because I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah. Like that's all I'll say. It's definitely a movie that you should see once in the theater because I think that's the only way you're going to be able to kind of drink in that thing that they do with sound in this movie. That's the only way you can really experience it and kind of get the effect, if that makes any sense.
So you could say audio deliciousness.
Yes. yes. And I thought the movie was cast very well. Shout out to you know, Cillian Murphy, who's really, really good in this movie.
Yes.
And this sort of I don't want to give it away, but there is a connection with Cillian Murphy from the beginning of the movie all the way through to the end. So definitely check it out. I would say go see it in the theater for sure. If you can go see it in the theater, see it. It's worth it.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So what would you? So since you both saw it, excuse me. Out of 5, what would you give it?
I mean, if the first Quiet Place is a 5 out of 5, I'm gonna give this a 4. Like I wasn't expecting it to be quite as good as it wound up being, but it's just not as good as Quiet Place. That's all I'll say.
And Malachi, what would you give it?
I'm going to be a little more generous with my score. If the first one was perfect, so we'll say 5, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, this one will be, to me, like a 4.9 because I loved how it wasn't so much a sequel, even though it was, but it was more complementary addition to the story that if they do it right, it could become a franchise. You know, it could become this whole new world that this family can, you know, experience, you know, their horror. I think for me, what I really enjoyed about it was the performances by Emily Blunt, you know, mother, I forgot her name in the movie. Her daughter Reagan, like she was just, she was willful, but you saw why she did it. You know, you saw where she was coming from. And the brother, like for a kid who's so young, he is such an expressive actor, and he didn't have to say anything again because of the movie, but he communicated with his eyes, like felt that fear. Like you would see like the unshed tears waiting to drop, and you could see like, you know, the agony he was in at certain points in the movie. You know, trying to flee from these creatures, and you know, I loved how in this post-apocalyptic, you know, future, the focus was on the family. Yes. And you know, I felt myself like internally sighing whenever Emily would talk to the kids, you know, trying to quell their anxiety. And you know, they still speak in sign language, which I think is a beautiful, you know, to the story. And to me, like you couldn't tell me that it's not her child in real life type thing. That's how compelling it was.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, I'm looking at it from that part. You know, I just love seeing that, and you know, she wants you to stay calm because your life literally depends on it. You know, and when baby started hollering, internally I was hollering because I'm like, please, I don't want anything to happen to them. I just love that we saw more, you know, of the devastation that was brought on this look at it, it was an alien invasion.
Yeah.
It was just well done. It was well done. Like even the way they ended was like, okay,
Yep.
where's the other part? Because it's a true cliffhanger.
Yeah.
My partner, he turned to me, he was like, "Oh, that sucked." I'm like, "It didn't suck. You're just mad because you wanted another 20 minutes."
Yeah, pretty much. yeah, exactly.
Here, it was amazing. You're just in your feelings right now because you wanted to see more of of this audio deliciousness, throwing the visual. So I'm here for it. I cannot wait for the sequel. Because if you remember, this movie should have came out last year, but they pushed it out. Yep. So, in that time frame, the little boy, like I wish I had known their names because I'm usually good with that. But the little boy, he was in that HBO series with Nicole Kidman.
And yes.
What was it called again? I forgot. But anyway,
I forgot.
He plays the son of it, and he's just as intense. Like, you could tell this kid is what, 12, 13, maybe 14. I can't tell with children. They're all the same to me. But I mean, it's just like, it's not even like black or white children. They just all look the same.
Oh,
they all blend together. You can tell that he's on the right path. Like, if you're working alongside people like, Emily Blunt and Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman, who is one of my favorite actresses, then you know that you're in good company and you know that you have mentorship in place. And I can see the same thing happening for the actress who plays Reagan, because I just adored her. She was just so good. Because in the first movie, I wasn't crazy about her, especially, since she was the reason why, her younger brother got killed. Because I felt like pushing her off that bridge when he died. But I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a lot of redemption.
Yeah.
With this movie, a lot of internal drive. There's a lot of resolve, and come hell or high water, I'm going to make this right. That's what, as a storyteller myself, I love seeing the character growth and the development. But I can go off on a tangent, but we'll just say that Malachi enjoyed A Quiet Place Part 2.
Yeah, the series you were talking about, Malachi, is The Undoing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was good. The last part kind of, it annoyed me, but it was still a good miniseries.
Yeah. Cruella. Overperformed for me. Like, I did not think it would be as good as it is. It is really, really good. And the comps that I've made on the show are that it looks a lot like their inspiration was The Devil Wears Prada, and I would be correct in saying so. Like, what if it's pretty much like, what if the Anne Hathaway character didn't maintain their morals at the end of it all and became more like the thing that they were railing against or coveting against, you know what I mean? Emma Stone is really good in it. Emma Thompson is really good in it.
She's great at anything, really.
Yeah, and I am completely on board for this sequel idea that it seems like Emma Stone and Glenn Close, who is a producer on this film, are thinking about doing. They floated out this idea about doing a sequel that's sort of like Godfather 2 style.
Okay.
Which would mean that Emma Stone would still be playing the younger version of Cruella in what we've seen already, and then maybe bringing Glenn Close back to play the older version of Cruella.
Okay. I can kind of feel that, yeah.
That's actually really interesting. That I would watch.
I would be absolutely down for that if they were willing to do a sequel to it.
Now, I was worried about this, much like Malachi said, of being burnt out by Emma Stone. Nothing against her personally. I just, at a certain point, I'm like, is there nobody else for any role? Is there possible?
But
and
you know,
again, that's not personal, and it's not against her acting talent. It's just the fact that, sometimes you're like,
again.
Yeah. But I mean, in some ways, I kind of like her better when she plays these kind of roles, right? These kind of like genre fluff roles. Like this. And again, this is not about her as a serious actress, because I think that she's also good as a serious actress. But I almost feel like you can kind of tell that she's having more fun in movies like Cruella and Zombieland than she is in a movie like La La Land, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
like it's not really, she's not really working when she's doing a movie like Cruella and a movie like Zombieland. And when I mean working, like it's almost like when she does a movie like La La Land, she's in a straitjacket. She's not really being her natural self. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's because you want that you want to be creative, but you also want to be able to have fun in that creativity.
Right.
You don't want to be stuck in a role that you're like, that people go, oh my God, it was great. And you're like, yeah, thank you. But it was, I was going to tears.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you serious? Like, it was horrible. Like, it would be like playing Lucifer Morningstar. Morningstar, excuse me, on Lucifer, which I would imagine being just incredibly fun, because look at the lines. And if you're able to ad lib, yes, all day, especially with Netflix. Versus doing a role that you're just sitting there and it's like just stifling, and people say, "Oh, great tour de force! Oh, it was amazing! Oh, I won all the awards." And you go up on stage and you're like, "Thanks," and you just walk off.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're being able to have something like that makes total sense. So that's why when you see that light come off of someone, because you see them legitimately having fun, and it brings out more of that. Yeah, so that totally makes sense. I would rather see her in a role, and any actor, I'd rather see any actor in a role where they're enjoying themselves and being able to fulfill their creativity and their acting skills and ability, rather than being something that's good, but you're like, it was all right.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a really good origin story. Like there is a part, and I'm not going to give anything away, that really does kind of have weight, and you kind of understand why Cruella becomes who she is. You know what I mean? And the other really great thing about this movie is how soundtrack drives story. The soundtrack for this movie is really good, and the songs that they choose to use at the points that they use them are perfect. I'm really excited. I think you're gonna love it, Malachi. I really do. I really do.
Can I be petty for a second?
Sure.
Yes, please. Yes, please do.
So, in the trailer, when they show her, scrubbing, I don't know if she was scrubbing the floor, picking up something off the floor. And they step on her fingers. I want to see that part. Because it looked like it really hurt, and I think it didn't laugh. That's petty, right? Yeah.
Whatever scene gets you into enjoying the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure there were some people who were like, "Oh, that looks good," and they had the same reaction, and that's why they thought. So I don't think you're alone. I think you're fine, Malachi. Don't worry about it. Okay. You're good. You're good. You know what? I have been wanting to actually go to the movies, and these are two movies that really I would like to see Cruella before it's like off of the premiere, access on Disney Plus. But I unfortunately didn't get to see A Quiet Place in theaters. I saw it at home. So the idea of seeing The Quiet Place 2 in theaters kind of is sparking me to go. So I'll see how I feel. But these are two movies that obviously sound really great. I think people have weren't even thinking about Cruella. They thought it was just going to be like kind of a Disney, kind of thing with it. Similar to Enchanted. No. Was it Enchanted with Angelina Jolie?
No, Maleficent.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, like similar to that, because I really enjoyed that movie, and the layers of subtext and I was like, oh, so it's not like a Disney movie.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a perfect segue, Antonio. That's a perfect segue right there. If anyone watching the show liked Maleficent, then you will love Cruella, because it's in that same vein. Like they're figuring out a way to redo their IPs and their common characters.
I have to know. Malachi was about to say something, and I see him smile, so I know that there's going to be something that's going to just fly out.
What is he going to say? What is he going to say?
So here's the thing. Maleficent, I think I found it okay.
Okay.
Because for me, like like both of you guys, I'm a Disney child. You know, we were raised on these classics, and I really wanted to see Angelina Jolie as the green Maleficent. So when they made her the alabaster, she had, but to me it was kind of like, okay, you look good without the green, hue. So that kind of took me out of it. I like the origin. I like that she had the wings and they were taken. And I even like the sequel, when you had the rest of the fairies and
the fuck just happened?
All
right. I thought I was gonna have to like run up to New York and help you out. I was like, no,
you all right?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Whose furry just jumped my boy Mike? Whose furry did this?
Those dead cats. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like, oh my God, Maleficent is my mother, I wasn't doing all that. So I'm looking forward to see Cruella. I keep hearing great things about it. So I'm gonna go tomorrow.
Good.
But yeah. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say. Antonio, if you decide to see the movies, I do encourage you go to the actual movies to see it. They are better with the whole COVID-19, mask up. You could order your food before you actually get there.
Right.
Because who's going to pay $30 to watch Cruella on Disney Plus for a platform you're already paying for monthly? Just pay the $10 as opposed to the $30. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's something that I was like, I'm not going to do the access. I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm already getting the service, and I'm happy with the service in general. Mm-hmm. And I know that in a span of 3 months or so, it's going to be on for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, which doesn't really bother me too much, but I am thinking about doing A Quiet Place. It's a light work week this week, so I might actually just like get early and just run over there and do it. Speaking of Disney and their Disney Plus service, we're gonna head to streaming news. We have Raya and the Last Dragon is actually available now for everyone. It was June 4th when it was available for everyone, not just anyone who had the Disney access. I wanted to see this movie really bad, so this is another movie that I want to see. Okay. Just because I love the animation, I love the trailer was ridiculous. I loved when the trailer came out, and this was a movie that honestly, if it hadn't been for COVID and AMC A-listers, this would have been one of my 3 movies to watch that week. I would have loved it.
You have that too?
I did, and then I stopped because
reactivated like I did.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I will be reactivating it because I plan on hopefully August. Things are better. People are, washing their hands more and their ass. So I hope to go into the theaters and be freer and just enjoy the big popcorn and my drink, put my feet up, watch trailers in the theater.
Yes.
I miss watching trailers in theater. Because I do go early. Well, I try to, but I do try to go early to watch theaters and watch the trailers and sit there eating my popcorn going before the damn trailers are even ended because I'm hungry.
Did you unsubscribe from A-List or no?
Yes.
Okay, you unsubscribed. Okay.
Yes.
They froze the account until you were able to reactivate it.
Yeah, if you didn't unsubscribe, they freeze your account.
Yeah.
I had actually done it before, and then when I was getting ready to reactivate it, everything happened. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I don't."
Okay, that's cool. Okay,
but I will be reactivated because, like I said, August I really want to go out more, venture forth more. do things, and the theater is one of my favorite things to do. Like on a day when I get off work early and have the next day off, come home, shower, change, go to the theater, you know, plan everything ahead. So this is something that I want to do, and this would have been one of those movies I really would have wanted to see. But I'm excited that it's out now on on Disney Plus. Since everybody and their mama and their mama's mama and the pastor down the street and the milkman that your mama used to date, but don't nobody talk about it. Everybody, it ain't none of my business. You know, everybody is, you know, has it. So I'm glad this is out. Also, I did not see this coming. Pretty Guardian, Sailor Moon, Eternal, Netflix.
Yes, I saw that trailer.
Yeah, they have 2 movies that are an hour and 30 minutes long, I want to say, and it's like part 1 and part 2.
Okay.
Netflix and anime.
Oh, it's an anime. It's a Netflix anime, or is it an old?
It's
a Netflix anime, but just with those characters. I think it's a continuation of the series, I want to say.
Okay.
But yeah, like I know Netflix was talking about doing more anime and everything. I'm like, oh wow, it's cool, great. But I saw Sailor Moon, I was like, wait, what? I was like, wow. So I'm totally impressed. And there are so many Sailor Moon fans out there. I hope this does really well for them. And I believe both movies are out now, so you can watch part 1 and then part 2, so you don't even have to wait, which is awesome. And then the bigger one that was out now, like everybody was talking about, was The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It is in theaters and also on Netflix. Excuse me, HBO. It premiered Friday.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is the Netflix. Excuse me, I don't know why I keep saying Netflix. The HBO. This is like, we're starting to wane down on that simultaneous premiere thing.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Yeah, it started because I think the last one is supposed to be Dune.
Okay.
In October.
I don't think it's Dune anymore. They pulled Dune out of that.
They pulled Dune out of it?
Yeah, that's going to be in theater. That's it.
You know, but yeah, so the Conjuring Universe, we all know, it's been a huge franchise.
Oh, yeah.
And they've done, what has it been, 7 movies?
About already?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's wild, right? But here's the thing that I love about this is the fact that it's not like Friday 13th or Friday the 13th part 1, part 2, part 3, blah, 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 going on. It's been, there's the Conjuring 1, there's the Conjuring 2, then they have these spin-off movies of items that you've seen in the other movies.
That's true.
So it's a great way to spin it off. And if you haven't seen them, like when I saw the first one, a couple of movies had already been out. So when they were in the basement, in the cellar, and he was like, "Oh no, don't touch that." I was like, "Oh, so you really." This is, and again, you know how I feel about comparison. I don't like to do it. I don't like to compare one thing to another like that, really. But this is a great way to create a universe similar to MCU, where you're doing it and you're having the franchise spin out. You're creating more, but it's not with just Conjuring 1, Conjuring 2, Conjuring 3, Conjuring 4, Conjuring 5, Conjuring 6, blah, 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 blah. You're spinning it out. I find this incredible. I find this really smart. I think this is fun. I think it's a great way to keep the franchise going and to expand that universe.
Is Patrick Wilson or Vera Farmiga in this? Are they in any of the side movies or no?
I don't know. I don't think so. You think
not even like little cameos?
They might be. I haven't seen any of the spin-off movies. Like I tried to watch The Nun, but it was a really bad week. Apparently, I have those a lot. And I just kept falling asleep because I was trying to watch it like before I was good, and I was just and not because the movie was bad, but then I really wasn't watching one movie to see it. I was just so damn tired. If anything, I would think maybe they have little cameos as far as like, you know, they might show them maybe locking up the item that might be a curse or that is a part of the curse. Maybe, I don't know.
Right.
But if they don't have cameos in them, that makes it even more impressive.
True.
Because the only link you have is through maybe an item or through the picture. That's even bad. That's even cooler to me, honestly.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I say, and I'm guessing that all 3 of us are horror fans as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So I didn't even. Michael is the one that actually reminded me that it was coming out, and I was like, wait, what? I was like, it's coming out. He was like, yeah, the fifth. I was like, oh, no, the fourth. I was like, oh, wow, damn. I didn't even realize it. This is also The Devil Made Me Do It is obviously this is a take on the Amityville Horror, which we actually got. Yes,
That's actually my hometown.
is it seriously?
Yeah.
But it says a lot as a person, right? Yeah. I thought I told you that. Because my
This guy, look at this guy prowling in the water.
yeah, that's I was born and raised in Amityville.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay. This was a really great. We had we had 4 movies made of this murder spree that was blamed on the devil.
Mm-hmm.
The cool thing about this is that in The Conjuring 2, in the beginning, they actually make reference to it, Amityville Horror. So again, these breadcrumbs, and then having this movie later on. I like this idea. They need to do this with more horror movies, because I love a good horror movie, and I am a fan of standalone stuff. But if you can do a horror movie and create a universe around it,
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily have to have the 2 main protagonists in it, I'm a fan. That's awesome to me. I want to watch. You know what I would love to do? And Malachi, you're going to be on board for this. I don't care if you want to or not. I'm just gonna keep chain mailing you the link anyway.
Okay.
Some type of like a show where we just talk about the Conjuring Universe and all the movies. Can you do a watch party with HBO Max?
I
I don't know. I mean, we could look into it, but
yeah, like a watch party, or just afterwards, just after everybody's binged it, have like 4 people and just talk about these movies, whether we liked it or not. Just have a huge like Conjuring show. Honestly,
it's funny you say that, because our mutual friend Marcia, who I just adore.
yes.
I hit her up earlier this week. I was like, we're overdue for a date night. We don't do our movie nights like we used to. And she's like, okay, what do you want to do? So I was like, I forgot what I had recommended, but it wasn't horror related. We should try to convince her to do a horror movie, because she probably will if we do like a watch party. So she's watching. See, let's all discuss it, and I'll include some memes.
I already know which meme was going to be directed towards me, so I'm not even worried about it. That's fine.
But that's a good idea, though. I mean, I would actually like doing that, because I love horror movies.
I honestly think it's some fun. Like, I've found Amazon has been great for horror movies. Just random. Amazon and Hulu are like untapped potential for horror movies. They're just random horror movies too.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I watched Hereditary and
that movie.
And oh my God, what was the next one that he did after that?
Midsommar.
Yes. Midsommar is.
I love it. It's so weird.
It's. Michael hasn't seen it yet, so I don't want to talk about it. But it's.
You should watch that movie. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Okay.
Any hyperbole or anything like that. But
I feel like it trolls you, and it's unapologetic about it too.
Oh,
it really does troll you. And I was like, I'm not falling for that. And when it happened, I was like, I knew I shouldn't have fell for that. I knew it. I knew you were just going, no, don't worry about it. It's just
wrenching. So it's so well done, because the girl who played in Midsommar, she's going to be in Black Widow.
Yes.
Florence Pugh or whatever her name
Florence
is.
Pugh, yeah.
Yep.
And she's great, and she's adorable, so I'll watch her.
She's adorable in that movie, but in this creepy, unsettling way where you're like, oh no, and then you go, oh wait.
But you know what? I wouldn't say unsettling, because how should I say it? And I don't want to spoil it. She was relatable in a weird way throughout the entire movie, from start to finish. So when it started going crazy, like in the movie, you're kind of like, but I still desperately want to like her, because she's been through so much.
Yeah.
But when it starts getting crazy, especially towards the end, like that last scene,
It was.
like, oh, maybe you know what? I still fuck with you because I like you. I like you.
There was so much. There was so much in that movie. I was like, why would y'all? And the one black dude, I was like, why would you even?
Why would you go?
You know what? You deserve that. You deserve that ass whooping or whatever the hell they did to you. You deserve whatever they did. It didn't make any. I was like, oh, whatever.
Remember the Arrested Development, like a scene where the mother's like, "Good for her, good for her."
Yes.
Good for her.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she sips that extra dry martini. Yes.
Good for her. That sweet little lamb. Just bless her heart.
Oh my God, yes. So now we're going to go through comics. I'm going to run through these a bit until we get to the end because it's going to be Malachi who's going to have fun for a few minutes. We have Basilic #1, which came out on Boom Studios. This book caught me off guard with the art. It was beautiful in the idea. It just looks beautiful. It really does. It just, I don't know. There's a depth to the art I wasn't expecting. Because the art that I saw originally was a flashback, then they showed the art in present day, and I was like, "Oh, okay, great." So I love that. And Unkindness of Ravens. This looks like it's going to be, the title is amazing. This is also from Boom Studios, Volume 1. This looks like a murder mystery set in a private boarding school, and these young kids are trying to. That's what it looks like. I'm trying to remember the actual premise, but it just looked incredible, and the title caught me immediately. Obviously, Crush and Lobo. This is DC. This is #1 film. They're going to spend a 5-issue miniseries. I want to say. This is basically Crush is the daughter of Lobo. Lobo, the last Zarnian. And it's her after she leaves the Titans, and after I believe she's had a really bad breakup with her girlfriend. And it's the two of them getting together and having some type of hijinks adventures in space. This is also part of DC's Pride Month celebration. So it has their special the DC local Pride symbol up in the corner, which is really cool. I'm not really familiar with the character. I know she was in Titans. I think I'm a trade before she joins the Titans.
Okay.
Which I want to check that out. Noctera #4 for Image, and then the biggest event of the year has started. The Hellfire Gala with Hellions #12, Marauders 21, and X-Force #20. It's out of Marvel Comics. This is a huge undertaking, and it rivals, and I'm not trying to be funny, it rivals the Nurses' Ball of General Hospital.
It surpasses the Nurses' Ball on General Hospital.
Because that's what I think of when I think of like a yearly event, something that happens like this. And I think the Nurses' Ball is like every year. But this could be a thing that's every year, possibly, or some manner of event that happens for them. I think, well, depending on where Hickman decides to throw the X universe as well. Malachi, can you please, without spoiling too much in case people don't know, but, having fun with it, please tell us about this gala.
All right, so the gala was first mentioned in last summer's giant-sized Magneto, I believe. Basically, in that story, Magneto has to purchase an island for Emma Frost as a favor, but the owner of that island is Namor. So they have a little adventure, and Namor tells them, "Listen, if Krakoa steps out of line, I'm coming for you guys." He said, "I'm not interested in your little parties. I don't want to join your quiet council. I don't even like you guys, but yeah, you guys could have this this island. I don't care." So that was a whole year ago. So it was mentioned again. Well, it was first mentioned really in Marauders. It was the issue where Callisto is being fitted for her white. What is she? Is she a white knight for Emma Frost in Marauders?
I think so.
Because they still play with the chess pieces or whatever. So you have Emma, she's the White Queen, obviously. Then you have the White Bishop, which is her brother, Christian, who is dating Iceman. Another topic. And then, because I'm just.
That'll be a whole other show.
Yeah, that's another show with what they did to Iceman. But then you have Callisto, who she agrees to become the White Knight, and so of course she's going to have to wear the appropriate colors, and they brought back a mutant who was a mutant designer. He had 4 arms, Jumbo Carnation, and we hadn't seen this character since like 2002, 2003, when they brought in Kid Omega. So he was killed and he was resurrected recently, and he became like Emma's like best friend, and so they start laying the seeds for the Hellfire Gala, and that's it. So I'm thinking it's going to just be an issue contained to the Marauder series, but then it took on like a life of its own, and fast forward to Sword, which is a great X-Men title that you should be reading. They had a scene where Fabian Cortez is presented before the Quiet Council. So the council itself it's been diminished because of the events of X of Swords. Apocalypse, he returns to his family, and Ament, Marvel Girl, she steps down to form the new X-Men team with Cyclops. And then who else left? It was Apocalypse, Jean, and Storm is getting ready to leave. And they're going to announce this huge revelation this month on 6/16, which is the current reality of Marvel Universe. Right. But anyway, they in this issue of Sword, Fabian is trying to present his case to the Quiet Council about killing humans, because that's one of the rules. You can't kill any humans, and he wants to amend that rule. So he's given us this huge sob story, and they're kind of just playing with him. And so Storm, she's not here for it. So she's like, Eric, this is getting ridiculous. We have the gala to prepare for, and motion to dismiss this meeting. And so it was like Storm, you really about this Hellfire Gala? So back in March, they released the designs for everyone's outfit. And when I tell you, I started speaking in Krakoan tongues and started doing backflips and all this stuff because they all look amazing. Okay, I'm lying. They all don't look amazing, but most of your favorites look amazing. Storm's costume. Have you seen it, Mike?
I have not.
Okay, so Storm's costume it's inspired. It's the best look in my opinion. And yes, I may be biased because hello, Storm, right? So,
maybe a little bit.
So, you see, like the cape, it's actually a storm cloud that she's generating.
Oh,
and it's lightning that's going through it.
That's pretty awesome.
It's so unique. Like I'm surprised they haven't done that sooner.
A long time ago. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I also love with the hair. You really can't tell with here, but they make it look like a McCloud. The designs and the storylines. It looks like it's a cloud across the sky type thing.
Yeah.
There were some, misses with the actual looks. I don't know if you saw it, Antonio, but I did like a breakdown as to what was iconic, what was valid, what was a fashion disaster in a good way, what was a fashion disaster in a bad way. What were you thinking? But the ones that stick out to me, like right now, it would be Jean's look, because she's also using her powers with the outfit she has on. She has this headpiece that's like these golden little shards, but they're held in place with her telekinesis. So that was pretty cool. Emma Frost, she can never be outdone by anybody. No. And this is her event. So she has 3 different looks that she presents during the night, for the Hellfire Gala. So you have her Xavier.
Colossus.
No.
Colossus took me out. I was like, oh wow. I was totally caught off guard by that.
He has like these zaddy vibes going on because he grew in the beard, which is a look for him. And he has what is the term for the hat they wear in Russia? I forgot. But you know what I'm talking about, because they even mentioned it breakdown. But he has the hat, and he has this cape that it's like it's a cape type jacket. You take it off, and he has like a semi-sheer shirt, so you can see the organic metal underneath. Like his look alone was trending on Twitter, getting ready for the event. Jubilee had a nice look. You know, it was very pretty. One of my favorite looks, and I was surprised, Jamie Braddock, which is, you know, Psylocke's, you know, well, she's not Psylocke anymore, but Elizabeth Braddock's older crazy brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's all white. He's like completely alabaster, and he has these black eyes, and he has a crown, and it was so simple yet it was kind of creepy in a way. So I got to show you. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Rachel Summers, like her look to me is one of my favorites because she goes back to her original Hound look, and you see all these spikes. You have some spikes that are coming out the costume, and she has a like if you guys read the original Excalibur run when they had what's it, the Crazy Gang and TechNet, whatever it was called.
Yes.
Remember the Warhounds? What were they called? But they were also,
like a big silver dog, like a big silver, like
everything.
Yep.
So she has a baby one of those, and they call it Amazing Baby. Don't get me started.
Oh.
But the actual leash that she has, it's her ponytail when she was a hound. So looks like that got my attention. Mystique had a lot of like feathers that you can't tell where it begins with her skin.
Right.
It's pretty iconic for her. Thunderbird's look, I liked it, but it was a fashion disaster in a good way. And the same with Danny Moonstar. Karma looked good. Who actually I wasn't crazy about? Oh, so Prodigy and iBoy from X Factor. I appreciate the fact that they're showing more, you know, gay representation, you know, with the mutants. I love that they have this young guy, David, who is a young black gay mutant. You know, I love it. What I'm not crazy about is the fact that they had him in a gold dress. Now, I'm not saying men don't wear dresses, and I don't, you know, I have no really opinion regarding that. But like, he's never once expressed, hey, you know, I cross dress or anything like that. So they have him in a gold dress. It still looks kind of hot, but it's like, all right, you know, he had the gladiator boots and eyeball. Oh my Lord. He's also in a similar, you know, dress. I'm like, so the gay men that you have on this team are wearing dresses. So I see it as like you're doing too much. Now, Aiden, who is bisexual and who's dating Aurora, you know, from Alpha Flight, they put him in a full suit. Why? Because he's paired with a woman. So for me, I was kind of like, did you get any actual gay people to consult with when you were designing these outfits for these particular characters or not? You know. So, but anyway, the you know, everyone looks iconic in their own way. And for the Hellfire Gala Part 1, you know, we actually start seeing the Avengers and the Fantastic Four walk through the proposed portals. I'm not going to say what was said because I still want you to read it, Antonio. You might want to read it. But you could tell that there's tension, you know, there's a sense of excitement. And you could tell that something big is going to happen aside from the announcement that they're going to reveal. Now, to the fans, you know, we already know that, you know, this event was to present, you know, a brand new X-Men team, you know, official X-Men team of the Krakoan era. And what I love about this team is that they have Everett Thomas, you know, from Generation X, Sync. He's an actual X-Man. You know, you have him on the team. You have, you know, Laura, you know, aka Wolverine, on the team. Rogue is back on the X-Men, you know, and she's wearing her Jim Lee-esque outfit. Sunfire is actually an X-Man. The first time he's been an active member in 40 years, which is
a long time. Yep.
Because, you know, he's featured in the books here and there, but to say, hi, I'm an X-Man again. You know, it's been before we were born, pretty much. So you have him, and you have, you know, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, and who else am I? Oh, and then, so back in January, we had the X-Men election. Like, you know, the fans can vote, you know, for your favorite mutant to join the team. But here's a list of mutants you can choose from. So they had Banshee, they had Marrow, they had Tempo, they had Armor, they had Strong Guy, and they had Polaris. Now, what irritated me about Polaris being included was she's been on the X-Men multiple times since,
Yep.
and I had to double check, since 1968.
Hmm.
She joined the X-Men before Storm joined the X-Men in 1975. And Polaris was an active member of X Factor. So are you going to pull a Wolverine and be on multiple teams? And so of course, people are voting for her. And what I didn't like about that too, the guy who's writing, who's not writing, the guy who's illustrating, the new X-Men series, Pepe Larraz, he was voting for her too. He was telling people, "Hey, vote for Polaris because I want to draw her." No, don't do that.
That's not how.
Yeah, that's not how it works. And so people were like, "Oh yeah, but we're gonna follow him." And oh yeah, wasn't she the girl who was in the Gifted TV series? So it's like no one like mutants like Tempo, who was a young black woman who's never been really featured outside of the Mutant Liberation Front. She just lost an opportunity to join in an X-Men team. Marrow, who's one of my favorites, she hasn't been an X-Man in 23 years, but let's just push her aside. Strong Guy, he's one of my favorite X Factor mutants, members, whatever. He didn't get, people didn't vote for him. Oh, that's right. Cannonball and Sunspot were also included. And I'm like, I love the characters, but no, they're mutants, right? Cannonball has been in X-Men a few times since 1995 when he joined. So to me, it wasn't really a true vote. It wasn't truly democratic. But hey, that's America for you, right? So, I mean, it's just a buzzword that we use. Your vote counts. So the new team is going to be revealed during this gala event, and Storm makes an announcement that that's going to be like monumental. You have it's called Planet Size X-Men #1.
Mm-hmm.
And they make this announcement where Storm is like, okay, I'm part of this. And I think it's linked to Sword, because they found some mysterious gem called Mysterium. I think that Storm is going to either join the Sword team, or she's going to start colonizing Shi'ar space for mutant kind. So I could be wrong. When am I ever wrong? So I'm thinking that could be, where we're headed. But something else happens, because Marvel likes to spoil their events before they actually happen. So I know in August they're going to do a trial of Magneto because he's accused of murder that's going to happen during the Hellfire Gala. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, we could be spoiled together. But yeah, the Hellfire Gala, they've released, it's a 12-part event. So hold on, let me pull it up because I had it.
And does it start in Hellions #12? Like, is that out of the 3 issues that came out this week? Is that the first part of it, or you can read them in any order?
No, well, you can, but I wouldn't recommend it because something happens in Marauders #21 that is only mentioned, but then it's they fully explore the next course #20.
Okay.
So what they did a poor job of doing was showing the reading order of each issue. Yeah, you said, okay, these are the issues going to come out, but you didn't tell me, should I read it in chronological order?
Right.
So for the first week, Marauders #21, X-Force #20, Hellions #12. So you want to read it in that order.
Okay.
Because they're releasing 3 issues per week. So next week for June 9th, you want to start off with Excalibur #21, X-Men 21, and Children of the Atom. Now, what I failed to mention is that there are certain issues that are highlighted red, which means these are, you can't miss these issues. If you remember, back in Powers of X and House of X, they had House of X #2 in red, which was more in Taggart's, revised origin.
Right.
House of X #5, #6, from what I remember, they were also in red because that's when the Mother Mode team was killed, and they were resurrected in front of the preparing people, which we had never seen before. So, I was throwing wigs and kicking off shoes. So, but next, yes.
Oh no.
You're good.
Out.
So next week we're gonna do Excalibur number 21, X-Men number 21, Children of the Atom. But for June 16th, they have Planet-Sized X-Men number 1 in red. So this is what we
that's a must read.
That's a must read. I don't know if you saw it, Antonio, but on Wednesday I created a room on Facebook at the HELLFIRE Gala X Chat.
Yes.
We were talking about it. We're going to do that again for the 16th to discuss Planet-Sized X-Men. So you're welcome to join. Mike, you should join too because you love X-Men as well. Planet-Sized X-Men number 1, New Mutants number 19, X-Core number 2. And then June 23rd, we're doing Wolverine number 13. Sword number 6 is in red. And we're doing Way of the X number 3. And then for the last week of June, for June 30th, the final 2 issues would be Expected number 10 and Cable number 11. So, all the X books are involved in this event that takes place in one night, and we're pretty much seeing it from everyone's point of view, their perspective, which keeps things lively. Ways that are running throughout certain titles. It's still going to be addressed, but it's going to be from their point of view. So I'm excited.
It looks like it's going to be a fun thing. Like I said, to have an event that's an event.
Mm-hmm.
It was like just a really cool idea. I wish they hadn't, spoiled it. So I wish they could have had like almost like a murder mystery kind of a vibe to it. Still make it about the event. Like again, I hate to compare, but similar to like the Nurse's Ball. Like the Nurse's Ball is going on. You're seeing, red carpet. Everyone's like an actual like event, and then something happens behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Someone dies or what have you. I love to see that Emma Frost is kind of like playing the Lucy Coe role of the different outfits and such like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. But just the design and the thought that went into it, this is why I said when Hickman was going to be, I said Hickman's a guy because he thinks so far ahead.
Yep.
And he'll leave that little stuff. Like when you leaving little pieces there for people to pick up, that's great. And that's what's going to make this a really fun and different event, an event that a Marvel event that I'm actually excited to check out, because I usually don't care for events at all because they happen so often. There's not an event, it's an occurrence, just keeps happening. It's nothing special about it. So that is fun. So everyone, that was Malachi, his whole
breakdown
analysis. He's what you're doing what Melissa and Joan Rivers used to do for events. So if in a world, if we had an event like this, a true event, and we had meetings and stuff like that, I could see you being on E or BET or having your own thing and just going, why is who those shoes really?
Yeah. So
we're gonna be just going off and just on a tangent, and I'll just be like, this is awesome. So every week we're going to be getting new parts of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Malachi just gave you the reading list.
Yep.
I'm excited about this, along with other comics. So this is something, another weekly thing, just like House of X and Powers of X, another weekly thing where we're giving you this story. And yes, it is a lot of content to throw at you, including everything else, but it pays off just like those events can pay off.
Absolutely.
So on that note, we are going to go with Justice 2 Kickstarter for Wingless Comics.
Yes.
Now, last time you were here, it was for Nightfall 2, I believe, correct?
It was.
Yes. It was for Nightfall 2. Now we're doing Justice Justice issue 2 Kickstarter. Can you tell us about this one, Malachi?
I certainly can. So Justice, as you know, is our flagship title for Wingless Comics. He is, Brian's going to kill me, but he is our quote unquote winged wonder.
I think that's perfectly fine to say. I have no idea.
Because I tend to be a little cheesy with the monikers and such, but Justice is, he is our champion. Mm-hmm. And in the first issue that we released last year, we did a Kickstarter. Um, he was already on Earth. He had made his arrival on, it was issue number 0. Prior to number 1. So in the Justice number 1, he meets up with this girl named Billy. That's after she is being attacked by, children of the night, which are pretty much our fancy way of saying vampires. So it becomes this issue where, they're pretty much fighting for their lives. He takes her to a longtime ally of his, and before they can find real sanctuary, all these vampires, they descend on, the skyscraper. So that's the cliffhanger we leave you with. So for issue number 2, we pick right up. They are going to fight for their lives once again. I don't want to say what happens in the book, obviously, because I don't want to spoil it, but we definitely address what happened previously. We want to find more characters who are going to play a big part in the development of the series, and also since we are now in the tradition of adding additional content, we do have the backup comic of Caliburn, who is one of my favorites. He is our demon hunter. He has on the hood. He has this Michael Ealy feel. He's the light skinned one out of the group. So how you see those memes, like, oh, light skin,
Yes, I've seen them, Malachi, and I'm wondering where I've seen them from.
But Caliburn, like, for me, I picture what's his name, Omari Hardwick, but with the hood, basically. So he's that guy. He has the quote-unquote light skin energy. So he's our demon hunter. He deals with all things that involve the occult. And one of the taglines that I love that's for him is that business is good. Especially when he's after the things that go bump in the night. So we're going to pick up. This is a continuation of his story that was also featured in Justice number 1, and the new edition, which I am super excited about. It's called the Saber Initiative, and it's going to feature a detective. She gives you what's her name, Simone Mesick vibes.
Oh,
okay. She's a gorgeous character. She's capable, and the Saber Initiative actually starts off. It's going to be the fallout of Nightfall, because things have been changed, on this level that no one ever expected, and of course, there's going to be fallout. So it's going to, unlike our other titles that we're developing at Wingless, it's going to be one that's set, in the gritty feel of police work or whatever. She's going to be checking out crime scenes. This one in particular, we start off with a murder mystery. She finds a body, and it has the calling card of a serial killer that she's tracking. So the writer who is responsible for this gem is J.L. Johnson. He recently joined our team. We're happy to have him to be included in the Wingless world. And so you're going to have Justice, the full issue. You're going to have the backup story of Caliburn, and that story is called Thieves in the Temple. And then we have the Saber Initiative, starring, Detective Emmeline Sarah.
Okay. The Saber is what interested me, because I was like, oh, that looks, the whole thing I was interested in, but knowing that was going to be added to it. And I love the fact that you're saying that it's going to be kind of like a police procedural, but set in this world of supernatural horrors. And then I always like stuff like that, where you have an organization that's their purpose is to kind of police what happens outside of the quote unquote norm. So I'm excited about that. Can you tell us about some of the tiers? Because the tiers are always like the best. Tiers are great because it's like shopping. You're looking for the one that hits you best, But then you can add on things after that as well. If it doesn't quite suit you, you can always kind of customize it as well.
This is true. So what we have available now, we offer a $15 tier for the digital one. And with all of our tiers that we include, it's always a lot of, juicy content. So it's not just the book we're going to include. No, we're going to include, we have posters, we have posters for day and night. So the day poster is the main cover for Justice #2. And that's illustrated by our wonderful artist, Fabio Samaya. He is, like, he gives you, like, such amazing quality every time that he does a panel or a character. Like, honestly, I look forward to when he releases quote unquote new art Mondays, because he'll send it to Brian, and then Brian and I can be talking, and then I don't know, he's like, hold on, I got new art to show you. And that conversation we had previously, it stopped instantly, and we just drool over his artwork. Like, his art it's the standard that's being set by Wingless. We want people who can do this type of artwork that Fabio does.
Mm.
So Fabio, he does the main cover, and he does the poster that we're going to offer for a day. And then, if you go to the Kickstarter, we have the night, version being promoted, and that's by Thiago Silva. Now, the thing about this guy is that I'm sure you guys are familiar with the book called Battle Chasers.
Yes.
By Mad.
Yep.
So this guy is he's worked on Battle Chasers. He is pretty much, Joe Mad's protege. And his art style, it gives you this kinetic, anime feel to it. He did this amazing poster that, we would be fools not to showcase that, on the Kickstarter. We want you guys to see this guy's work. Yes.
Yes. It's on your phone, folks.
Yes.
Right there.
So, he did that particular, that illustration for us. And if you guys may recall, for Nightfall, part 2, one of the posters that we revealed was the team poster.
Mm-hmm.
And, the one of everybody on the roof looking down and everything's burning in the background.
Yes.
And last week I was, because if you see me on Facebook, I'm either talking about memes, Storm, or promoting, Justice #2.
Yes.
So I'm sure you guys are familiar with the comic book company Concrete Comics.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So we released a photo, not a photo, but we released a poster.
Yes.
That's Acolyte from Concrete. He's shaking hands with Justice Wingless. And, we decided to use that as a stretch goal, because right now, we just surpassed the 5K stretch goal. Yay. So we want to get up to 7,000 for this one, because, we want to be able to include this particular poster. Like, honestly, I can't stop looking at it, because I just see so much deliciousness in it. You just look at it and it's like, you know what? Why wouldn't I have that on my wall? Why would I deprive myself of this amazingness? So that's why we keep on asking people, just keep sharing the actual Kickstarter. If you're unable to pledge yourself, that's fine. I get it. Some of us don't have the means right now, but it's literally $3.99 for you to post it on your wall, or whatever groups that you frequent, or whoever you're speaking with in Messenger who may be into comic books. So yes, because if we get past, no, let me rephrase that. When we get past this 7K stretch goal that includes this amazing poster, once we hit 10K, we're going to release trading cards. So I think that is sufficient, incentive for our fans, people who want to support. And we still have time, because I think we went live on the 18th, so we wrap up on June 17th.
So I think it was like 11 days.
Yeah, let me see.
Yep, 11 days.
11 days. So tell everybody, like as Antonio was saying, tell your mama, tell your mama's mama, tell the pastor around the corner and that milkman who got curdled milk. Just tell anybody, your cousins, that kid who won't leave you alone on the bus, give him a comic book to shut him up. Just give him
Tell
a
your
book.
weed cat, and tell your plug. I mean, and tell you, because that weed plug loves a good comic. Let's be real. I mean, come on. And this is something that he can have it to print, also digital as well. I mean, I love the fact that you get the posters and like the paper posters, but you also will get like digital posters as well, times like that. And there are a lot of add-ons, so you can get like the actual Kickstarter, and then afterwards they'll ask you, well, would you like to add anything on something that you may have seen as part of that, and you can add it on simply. Like with me, I forgot which package I went with, but then I saw a T-shirt after. I said, okay, bet. So I went and added the T-shirt to it. Little things like that, or you can just go with the actual package, the tier that you like. It's customizable, it's great, and you're going to get so much bang for the buck that you're putting out. Truthfully,
That's true. I mean, that's why we designed it that way. So if you're going to pay this amount of money, no, it's going to include the posters. It's going to include this jam-packed story, because it's not just 22 pages. It's 34 pages of 3 stories involved. All in one. So
and also, so if you're able to, go check out the tiers, share it, tell somebody again that you like. Go into your now. Do you have a retailers tier?
We do. Yes, we do.
Right there. If you go and you have a favorite comic book shop, you have your local comic book shop. You know what? Tag them in there.
And I'm glad you the comics because yesterday it was just announced that we're actually going to be a comic book stores.
Nice.
Black Star Collectibles, they're out in California. They have the Wingless Comics coming to their stores, and there was a store that was in Nashville, Tennessee. So we're actually on each coast. And it's such a weird and humbling feeling to actually see your work out there on the actual comic book rack. It's humbling, it's powerful, and it shows that our stories, they matter too. As much as I love Marvel and DC, mostly Marvel, no shade. It's amazing just to see oh wow, we're actually doing this, and I would be remiss in not acknowledging Black Comics distro, Jason Reeves. He's responsible for that for that movement. Him and Brian, they're like these masterminds, working in the in the shadows. Brian has this nickname that we have christened him with. He's the Suge Knight of the indie comics community. So I'm just I'm glad to be a part of this. I'm always going to be pushing for Wingless, because they just do we just do big things. We want people to see stories written by us. Stories written by us and stories for us.
Exactly. It's wonderful to see it now where comics are having that kind of FUBU mentality. I mean, not to be funny, but that was but they were the ones saying, look, this is for us, by us. So to see that being so prevalent, and for everyone to be networking and teaming together, especially now with the technology that we're able to use, and everything is much more user friendly. So you can be on one coast and email somebody another coast, and you can end up having a meeting in the middle somewhere and having a book come out, and you've never actually been in the same room until possibly maybe months later, or at a con you're able to finally go to and meet up and actually vibe on that in-person level, and still be able to come out with these incredible stories. So that was one of the positives from the pandemic, if we can really think about it in that way. So it's been beautiful to see. So yes, please go. Yes.
Oh, I said it's funny you mentioned that people who have never met come together to to create this beautiful art. As a side note, like Brian and I, we've been buddies for a minute. We have not physically met face to face yet.
Yeah, that That honestly sounds about right. I mean, I'm trying to be funny, but yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, it's a whole new way of interacting and doing business. And then it's almost like you go, I kind of hope we don't meet in person because then you're like, oh man, what if I don't like this person? What if their cologne just annoys the shit out of me? What if their shoes just look wrong and they're tight and it's just just little like silly stuff, you know what I mean? But it's beautiful to see us embracing all of these smart devices in a way where it's productive. We're able to do more and be creative and let it all out and just uplift. And even like the virtual cons are out. Like I think on Juneteenth there are 3 cons that are like black cons. There's Virtuous Con. I believe there's also, I'm trying to think what the other. I think Subsumi has something going on.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. And I think there's a third one too that I want to say, and I'm like, oh wow, that's a lot of cons going on. That's awesome. And that's even before BlurredCon, which is supposed to be in person. I want to say this year.
Yes. It'll be July 16th through the 18th.
Yeah. So even that. Doubtful. I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I am doubtful that I'm going, but I hope it's something that if they're able to have some type of virtual side to it, I do want to check that out. I love the virtual con idea and how cool it is, and still kind of having anxiety and thoughts about New York Comic Con and what can happen, what might not happen, what have you. But folks, enough of my rambling. I need you to go hit the links that I put in the episode description. I need you to go to Wingless Comics. I need you to get like a t-shirt. I need you to get and they have a nice array of t-shirts as well. I need you to go and hit the link for the Kickstarter. I put it in there. I need you to go to hit that link. And I need you to go and I need you to check out the comics. Check out those amazing tiers. And I need you to go to that third link that I put on there. I need you to hit Amazon. I need you to hit her, not a person, but the book. Watch yourselves now. Get the book. Watch yourselves now. Which Malachi was the author of. I put those 3 links in there, folks. I need you to go to each link. And while you're getting those links, maybe get yourself some hot links. Sit there. Make a day of it. Go through the links. Eat your hot links. Have a good time. There's always a link to food, Michael. There's always a link to food, damn it. Always. If you tell me you can't link food to that, I'll say, okay. Somebody put down my non-alcoholic beer that O'Doul's and let's get this cracking. Do they still make O'Doul's? They still make that?
I don't know.
I believe so.
I wish they had stopped. That would have made that joke funny if they had stopped. But that's just everything about the Justice Issue 2 Kickstarter. I'm so happy that it's coming out, and the consistency of it is a beautiful thing too.
Thank you.
I love that consistency. But there's also something that I do want to say before we end the show. It's June. Happy Pride Month. If you have seen our IG, if you've seen my personal IG, if you've seen our FB page, you've seen that we've been posting content, whether it's geek related, or movies, TV, what have you, comics of content that has LGBTQ plus leads or central characters. And we're going to be doing this all month. Yeah. I post stuff randomly anyway of all groups because I believe that I want to see every marginalized group win. I want to see them save the day. I want to see people that I identify differently than save the day and, get the girl or the boy or the non-binary person or the gender fluid person or the intersex person. I want to see that. I want to see not just myself win or a character that represents me. I want to see all those marginalized people win as well because I dig it and I love it. So I was hoping that each of us, and we're going to do this each day, each episode that we do this for June, just to name one TV show, comic, novel, what have you, that has an LGBTQ plus queer character that's a lead or a central, like an important character, not just like Kyle Rayner's friend who was beat up, and that was basically fridging someone. If each of you would just pick a product and just you don't even have to explain it, what have you, something that really hits you that you enjoy. Malachi, you are a guest. Can you think of something right off the top of your head?
Yes, I'm gonna go with X Factor.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
that started, post, Krakoa. Um, we had mentioned, David slash Prodigy and Iborn wearing the dress, but I love how the writer is focusing on these three queer men on one team, which I've never seen before. Um, and the leader of the team is North Star. And he is the first really out gay superhero. I like how it was written so like effortlessly because you see like I'm not well, it's not really spoiling, but Prodigy, he is dating Speed, from Young Avengers, you know, Wanda's son or whatever. And you see them, hanging out, and it's never like a sense of like judgment from the other characters because it's really not that big. It's not a big deal. North Star's whole black human husband is featured in the book. Um, Personally, I wish that North Star would have dated a little bit more before he got married, but that's just my own personal preference. It's nice to see that he's happy, but I wanted to see him be like more of a hoe before he settled down. But that's just me. So, X Factor's the book. Um, Unfortunately, they're going to cancel the series with this issue that's coming out this month.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because Polaris is joining the X-Men, but they're saying that it's because it's a pirated book. Like they have more views than they get more, than purchases. But my thing is, I don't buy it because I'm sure those same views are double, if not triple, for Batman issues or, Avengers or whatever. I just think personally they just don't want to continue to publish a book that had those three gay characters in it. But I could be wrong. Hopefully, I'm not wrong, or maybe I don't know. I mean, it doesn't change the fact that they're going to cancel this book that's just now starting to get its own voice. But
yeah,
whatever.
So the latest X Factor series for Malcolm. Now, will this issue be issue 12? So they'll be able to have 2 trades out?
It's going to be issue number 10.
10? All right.
Yeah, because it's going to close out the month on June 30th. I would hope that they would, package it as a trade. But what I'm noticing with the Hickman books, they put them all together in different volumes. So you had and so honestly, I prefer that. It's cheaper, I guess, too, if you look at it. But for X Factor, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. All right. Michael.
Yes, sir.
What about you, sir?
I am going to go in the more difficult movie to watch, but is absolutely necessary realm. It's a movie from years ago called Boys Don't Cry.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's a good one.
All right.
Hilary Swank stars as character's name. Oh, the person's name, real life person's name was Tina Brandon, but wanted to become Brandon Tina, trans teen that unfortunately never got to that point because they were unceremoniously and horribly murdered in the Midwest. But it's a really good movie. It's difficult to watch towards the end because everything plays out at the end in the most horrible way possible. But I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't shy away from things that have happened in real life, and kind of show people that this is what's going on, and this is wrong, and we need to be better human beings all the time. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely a movie that stuck with me, and I saw it in the theater. So it's definitely a movie that people should see.
Yeah, that. Oof. Like, I'm just having flashbacks of watching that movie and just being like, because it was at a time I knew nothing about.
Yes.
What is, like, you think you know, but you have no idea. And I hate using this word, but discovering, quote unquote, what's happening. Not discovering is actually a horrible word to use. Learning.
Yeah.
Learning.
Yeah.
And just that move. Damn. That that shit. All right.
Yeah.
Fuck me up with that one. I ain't not even gonna lie to you.
But what's so sad about it? It's so common, and it's still happening. I mean, to me, it seems like every other week there's another article about a trans individual being horribly murdered, and it's become normal to the point where people are becoming desensitized to it. But no, this was a person. This was a person who was living their life the way they saw fit, and because someone couldn't deal with that because it was no one's fucking business, they decided to end it. And then you hear about the ones who are messing around, with these trans women and trans men. They don't want the secret to get out, then they kill the person. It's like, you know what? You could have just stepped to this. You could have stuck to porn. You kept the movie.
Yeah.
Leave the person alone. That's a whole other show.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mine, unfortunately, is a show that I'm catching up on now. I'm catching up on this third season now. This is a series that I watched it specifically because I knew nothing about ballroom. I mean, I knew about ballroom. It was a celebration, but I had no idea. And this show makes me want to go. Is it okay if my straight ass comes to ballroom? Because I just want to see y'all I just want to hear the shade. I just want to sit at the bar and just have the shade. There's a show called Pose on FX. One of the most amazing and just heartwarming casts ever. Unfortunately, it's on its third season, and this is going to be the last season, the final season. I wanted more, but I also am just glad that it's telling their story.
Yeah.
And it starts in the early 80s.
I'm going to say 87.
Oh, so later 7? Okay. Later 80s, and then it goes to, because this season is in the late 90s?
1994.
94. It's one of the most beautiful shows out there. FX, kudos for having a cast of brown skin, trans people who are just amazing. They can make you laugh, make you cry, make you cheer, make you side eye the screen.
Yeah.
Just give you every type of feeling possible. And this cast will be so sorely missed. But I was so happy to see that Angelica Cross, who played Candy, that she was cast on American Horror Story that next season.
Yeah, that's why they brought her out. Yep.
Yes. And I love the fact that that's what should be normalized.
Yep.
And it was just, there was no type of mention of anything. She wasn't like a weird serial killer who, it was like a sleepaway camp kind of thing happening. You know what I mean? It was just, this is a woman, this is her life, this is what she's doing, this is it. Yeah. They could have put it in there and it could have just been like a side note of something.
Yeah.
They didn't make like a reason for her to be killing. But that doesn't surprise me because it's Ryan Murphy, who also had a hand in Pose.
Yeah.
And that's one of the episodes that got me the most, was Candy's episode.
Yeah.
Because it was the most realistic thing I've seen. Because much like Boys Don't Cry, it happens every day. But this one, there was no recourse. It happened and then it was gone. That episode, I had to sit for about 10 minutes and let that just marinate. Like, because in a TV show, you're used to there's going to be an ending, there's going to be some type of result, you're going to get that happy ending, they're going to bring them to justice.
And then you never find out.
And you never find out. Never. You never find out what happened. It hit me, and I was like, I had to take, because that whole episode was Candy's episode, and I was so mad at Pray Tell.
I'm always mad at him.
Well, I was mad. I was mad at him because of how he treated Candy purposely, because she was the dark-skinned girl.
Yep.
And she had the audacity
to
want to be seen, and to challenge him. And to want to be seen. No, I have talent. I will be. And he was like, "What are you doing?" I'm not gonna lie. Some of his lines were funny as hell. I'm not gonna lie, because he came up with stuff, and I was like, I gotta write that down. I've never heard that before. But it was the way that he went particularly harsh on her that episode.
Yeah.
That made it hurt even more when that ending happened. It was one of the. It made me a fan of Angelica Cross so much, because of how she played it, and she still got that what was the song that was played at the end? Last Dance.
Stephanie Mills. And I never felt love like this before.
Yes, thank you. I was just, and they even named an event.
Candy Sweet Refrain.
Yes, which they make mention of. Exactly, which they made mention of, in the third season when they were having a competition. It's just one of the best shows out there. Seasons are maybe about 10 episodes.
Yeah, it's in tomorrow now.
Yeah,
the last episode, so I'm not ready for it.
Yeah, so it's not like an overly long season, because you all know how I feel about long seasons. It's not necessary. It gets to the point. You get this family feel. If anything, go for the story, but stay for the shade, because oh my God, Elektra, how in the hell? If they had cast her as Storm, I'd be like, yep, I could totally see that. Yeah. The microaggressions are beautiful. The microaggression shade in that series are beautiful. I could do a whole episode on just the shade and the microaggressions. Some stuff I have to rewind and go, wait, did I just see that? Pray Tell has these faces where it's go watch Pose. You can watch season 1, season 2, I think are still on Netflix. If not, go check out Hulu, because Hulu has like most of FX's content now, and they'll show new episodes the day after. So go check out Hulu as well for this third season. It's one of the best shows out there, truthfully. Honestly.
Soon.
It's ending, but we got it. So better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
This is true. Very
so
true.
Best advice that I can give you today, aside from get some repellent for bugs, because not one of these little nasty ass has touched me, and I am living my best life right now. I'm gonna be real. Nothing has touched me, and I'm so happy. And it's plant based in case you're vegan. So there you go.
I have to get that.
So on that note of my off, we are going to be getting off of the air now, and we had just such a great time as always. Malachi Bailey, Wingless Comics. Like I said, I have the links in the episode description. Go to Wingless Comics, go to the Kickstarter pledge or share it, and go to Amazon, buy her or share the link for her. Michael, what would you rate today's show? I'm just curious, man. On a scale of 1 to 10, because I know you like breaking that scale sometimes. I got to ask you, scale of 1 to 10. What you got, man?
I don't know, brother. 14, 15?
I need to buy more scales. He is breaking these scales up. I need to start buying scales in bulk, because he is breaking scales every week. That's no let me go to BJ's and figure out what's good with these bulk scales.
You do that, brother. You do that.
I start using like the scales that they use for truckers. They're big, massive scales. It's ridiculous. I need the industrial scales. So this has been this is another big show. Oh my God, this is great. This is Netflix. We're ready for our contract. Just We're just waiting for you. I've already got a pen. I've got the pen. I'm ready.
Yeah, he's got the special pen ready.
Dude, yeah, the pen is always ready. So on that note, thank you so very much, Malachi Bailey.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate
Thank you, Malachi.
Michael.
Yeah.
Final words, Michael.
Be good to each other, please. That's it. Simple, short, and sweet.
That's it. Myself, do the best you can with what you got, because that's all that you get in the end.
Yep.
And lotion. Lots of lotion.
Lotion.
Shave.
Those knuckles and those ankles. Get behind your kneecaps. Get behind your ears.
Get the ankles. You got to work them ankles. You got to get the webbing. You got to get that webbing. You got to get in the nooks and crannies.
And don't lick it. Just use the lotion.
No,
They're licking stuff. Well, before you guys go, I had
yes.
I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day, and she felt the need to tell me she did not brush her teeth. Yes, she's. And I was like,
okay.
I could have my entire life without knowing about you not brushing your funky teeth.
Much like that meme.
Which one? I mean, so many.
Oh my god.
Send it to me. Just send it to me.
I feel like you just gave me somebody's mixtape that you weren't proud of, and I just had to take off my earbuds. Like, he was like, listen to this, and I was like, I don't really want to.
Yes, I just got it. Yes.
But you had the aux cord, so you was putting in that mixtape, and I had no point but to listen.
He's going to hear it anyway. Yeah. I'm not sorry.
Oh my god. All right. Yeah, so brush your teeth and get that lotion.
Yes, please. Do it
deep. Do it for the people. Do it for Malachi. Do it for the children, as Malachi loves to say.
For the children. Do it for the children.
Yes. All right, so enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of the week. If you like what you see, please go back and watch our previous videos. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Click the link. It's a small gesture to you, but it's a huge help to us, and we appreciate it. All right, so thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and eat something tasty, and watch me awkwardly dance as this thing takes a little while to go off the air.
I didn't know joking.
Nope. It takes